I am the independent conservative Republican in this race. I am the conservative in this race. The other candidates in this race on the Republican side, fine people. They have no track record to speak of. And when they do, the track record is problematic, to say the least. And it's a difference of kind, not just degree. Bill Binney, Jim Bender, businessmen, no experience at all in politics. We don't know really what they're standing. We're trying to find that out. And I see that as a challenge, because you don't know what you're voting for. That's the challenge. The challenge is to know what somebody stands for. And the best way you know when you're hiring someone for to work for you is to look at their history, find out what did they do in order to be the best employee you can project. And when you've been supporting Democrat candidates like Bill Binney has, contributing to their campaigns, that should tell you something about the commitment to conservative principles, which I think the nation needs now. There'll be a record we'll talk about, but there's no record we can point to that says that person stands for limited government, for a balanced budget. And Kelly Ayotte, our other candidate, who has a little bit of a record. And what's going to happen in the general election if she's our nominee? And she says to Paul Hodes, I hate earmarks, I'm opposed to earmarks, you're an earmarking king. And he's going to say to her, well, when you started running for Senate, you were for earmarks, so long as they're transparent. And what's he going to say, and what's she going to be able to say when she says, Paul, you were wrong on the stimulus package, you shouldn't have voted for that, it's a waste of money. And he's going to say to her, how come your name appears on the memos with Governor John Lynch promoting people to apply for stimulus money, doling it out like it's candy? And then when she says to Paul Hodes, you will not defend private property rights, you're about taking private property rights for government, he's going to say, well, where were you on the JUA? You were representing and, in fact, encouraging the legislature and the governor to take $110 million of private money contributed by people, not by government, and taking that to put into a general fund for government? Who are you to talk about private money, private ownership, private property rights, Kelly? Paul Hodes is going to checkmate her on the key issues of this campaign. And when I have a discussion with Paul Hodes about earmarks, I have a consistent record of objecting to earmarks. And when I talk about getting the federal government out of elementary and secondary schools, I have a record. And you go back to the media reports back in the mid-90s. It wasn't pretty. You don't think the union liked this, do you? Or the education establishment liked the fact that we're promoting homeschoolers and supporting them and opposing Goals 2000. Well, I was willing to stand for that, and perhaps I lost my race for governor. I was a Republican nominee for governor, running on those principles at a time when it wasn't cool to be conservative. I was conservative before it was cool. I have a track record to point to. If you want that kind of representation, independent activist who's an advocate for you, I'm your candidate. And I have a record to show. The other candidates don't. I'm not perfect, but I can't do it without you. I need your help. That's why I'm going to speak to any groups that would have me, the 9/12 groups, the Tea Party folks. If 2 or more are gathered, I will speak. And I'll try to earn your support because I need your help at the grassroots level. We're going to do this the old-fashioned way. I'm not going to be the most well-financed person. I'm not independently wealthy. The establishment's not behind me. John McCain wasn't in New Hampshire supporting me. I don't know if you saw that. He was supporting somebody else. And the Republican leadership in Washington is supporting someone else in this race, and that's Kelly.
Well, that'll be another one, by the way. When Kelly and Paul Hodes have a debate in November, and she says we should be selling insurance products across state lines, Paul's going to say, as Attorney General, you oppose that. How can you not an election year conversion? That's what they're going to say. That's what they're going to say. And we need to be aware and prepared for that. I'm not going to say that.